Agreeing with everybody about everything all the time looks good on the surface, but underneath, they're just a yes man. And you know what yes men really are? They're easy to work with. They agree. They adapt. They keep things running smooth. On the outside, it looks like humility, flexibility, and even loyalty. But agreement is not always alignment. And sometimes it's just downright self-protection. Hi, I'm Branon Dempsey. Click a like, follow, and subscribe because your story matters. So what is the core of this fear-driving behavior anyway? Well, at its root, most yes men are just operating from fear. Fear. I'm glad you asked. You know, fear of rejection, conflict, relationships, losing approval, and even the fear of being seen as difficult. Instead of them deciding what is right, they just default into what everybody else thinks to keep them safe. I mean, look at it this way. And you may have done this too. You feel like saying yes to everything somehow makes you feel responsible. But underneath, it's really about giving your own power away. And at this most common level, we're really talking about people pleasing. And men, you need to stop. I know from experience, I used to constantly read the room, think about what other people were thinking, and being worried about what they thought about me. And we do this so that we can easily adjust to the room of what's happening so that we can keep everybody comfortable and everybody happy. But it doesn't work. So trying to maintain peace at all costs, that's just impossible. And the problem that we run into is that we constantly deny ourselves. And over time, you actually lose clarity on what actually matters to you, what you think about, what you want, your choices, and what you're called to do. Because when you're trying to appease to everybody else in the room, you're not connecting with yourself. You're actually disconnecting from your own voice. What is the main goal that people pleasers are trying to achieve? Avoiding conflict. It's just saying yes all the time to not ruffle any feathers or to avoid the tension in the room, in the office, in the workplace, wherever it may be. Family. We don't want to cause waves because we don't want to make a scene or make anybody unhappy. But that actually just creates more friction. But you got to see that healthy disagreement actually is good for you. And when you learn how to solidify who you are and know what you want to discern, boundaries can actually come easy. And that's actually how adults function. I mean, the biggest boundary that anybody can say to another person is the word no. Yes, it's difficult at first, but it helps you avoid all the unhealthy things that come at you as a cost. And trust me, keeping the peace doesn't keep the conflict away. It only buries it. So in a very respectful way, try saying no to somebody and insert what you want and see how they respond. You're going to get a big reaction, or you're going to get somebody who may understand you. It's learning how to talk things out, explore your feelings, talk about logic, but I know it's easier said than done, especially when you're in a heated argument, and that's where the people pleasing comes into play. You want to avoid that, because if you don't learn how to embrace the negatives and the conflict,